Hello, you guys, and welcome to another live career and job search strategy session with me, Professor Heather Austin. Today, we are talking about the top 5 LinkedIn mistakes sabotaging your job search. And here's the thing. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what to fix now to get seen and how to get interviews and get hired faster. So say hello in the chat if you have not yet already done that. Also, make sure you are logged into YouTube. The only way that you can interact with us in the chat, and we do a lot of talking in the chat, is to make sure you're logged in. So say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from today. We have a power-packed session planned for you. And also let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. I think you guys can. Everyone's jumping in early. I love to see you guys here. Christopher, happy to see you here from Ireland. Sophia is here. Happy to see you again, Sophie, from Indiana. We have Sandra here from Chicago. Love it. Amanda is here from Chicago as well. Deb is here. Happy to see you. We have Providence, Rhode Island in the house. I know that we saw England in the house. We have Canada in the house. We have Connecticut in the house. Hello, you guys. Santa Monica, California is in the house. Say hello in the chat because I have some amazing content planned for you. The other thing I want you to type into the chat is I want you to type go if you are ready to learn the top LinkedIn mistakes that are sabotaging your job search. Now, we've had a lot of traffic on our channel the last 3 or 4 or 5 months all about LinkedIn. So that's why my team and I decided to put this training together for you. I also have my amazing assistants in the chat, my moderators. Catherine is here, and Catherine's joining us all the way from England, and Tim is here from Canada. They're going to be moderating our chat, making sure that I get questions answered. They're going to be popping questions in front of me in case I miss them. But make sure if you do have a question during today's session, just type question in front of your question so that I can see it come through, and I'm going to do my best to answer all of your questions. So you guys, say hello. Let's get started because I have so much planned for you today. In fact, when I was going through my slides, I was like, I have to take half of this stuff out because if I didn't, we would be here for probably 2 or 3 hours. So remember, you do have access to the replay. I know a lot of you that saved your spot. We had over 2,000 people save their spot for this event. A lot of you mentioned that you'd have to catch the replay later. So make sure you comment in the comments if you are watching this on replay. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let me know your biggest LinkedIn mistakes. Type go in the chat if you guys are ready because we have so much to cover with you today. So we're mainly going to focus on LinkedIn, of course, right? Because that is one of the number 1 job search tools that you need to be using if you want to be successful with your job search in your career, finding new opportunities and getting hired faster. So here's the cool thing. We have been behind the scenes for months now working on our brand new Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition for career and job search mastery. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that as we go throughout today's session. But this is a brand new resource that we're basically introducing it today. For the very first time, you guys are going to be the very first folks to learn about this. So if you're interested in taking a peek while we are going throughout today's live stream, you can scan that QR code on the slide, or you can just go to heatheraustin.online/flash. Now, if you guys stick around with me all the way until the end, I'm going to show you where you can get an invite-only link to a special career and job search. That's a tongue twister. A special career and job search coaching session on Tuesday, September 4th. So you'll want to make sure you stick around to learn all about that. Now, I want to share a couple success stories with you guys because if you hang out with me today, you are going to have massive success, not just in your LinkedIn profile and everything that's happening in the job search market, but you are going to have massive success in your career. So I want to share a couple of success stories with you guys before I get into today's content. So Michael wrote in and said, hey, he said, thank you for the amazing and insightful videos. I applied for a position with my state on 3 separate occasions and did not get the job. He said, prior to my 4th attempt, which he was very hesitant to do. He said, I discovered your videos and I studied them day in and day out, and guess what? I got the job. So I want you guys to do the same. We have so many videos here on YouTube. Everything on YouTube is free. You guys can study those day in and day out, and hopefully, like Michael, you will get the job. Amy wrote in and said, I stumbled across one of your videos on YouTube, and I have to say it was the best resume video ever. She said, the information you provided was key and truly helped me overcome the hurdle of writing about myself and putting quantifiable achievements into my resume, which I was previously lacking. She goes on to say, I was able to land the exact job I was after with a 30% salary increase. So let me know if you guys want the same success as these guys. Type yes in the chat if you do. One last story before we jump into it. Joshua wrote in and said, thanks to your videos and awesome resume template, I was able to get a $35,000 promotion. I'm grateful for the work you do. So when we get success stories like this is why I do what I do. This is why I have my team do what they do. This is why we are here for you guys, because we want to see you have success just like Michael, just like Amy, just like Joshua, just like thousands of other job seekers. So if you want the same success as them, you need to tune into today's session, catch the replay, watch the replay if you need to. On repeat, go back, take notes if you need to, because if you guys put the strategies that I'm going to teach you today into place, you're going to be one of my next success stories. Now, my next question for you, I want to know on a scale of 1 to 5. So this is a simple question. How confident are you in your LinkedIn profile? So when you think about your profile, or maybe even if you think about LinkedIn in general, on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you? I had someone send me an email yesterday and said, Heather, I'm not going to be able to come to the LinkedIn training session. I don't even have a LinkedIn profile. So I don't want to take someone else's seat. I'm going to relinquish my seat and give it to someone else. And I'm like, no, you need to still be here, because once you get your profile activated, then you'll be able to implement everything that I'm teaching today. And it doesn't take that long to actually activate a LinkedIn profile. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you in your current LinkedIn profile? Yes, I'm actually seeing lots of 3s, lots of 4s, 2.5. Camilla, hello, happy to have you here. Let's see, Lisa, happy to have you, says 4. Jeff says 4. Okay, you guys are feeling pretty good about it. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about a lot of stuff today, so make sure you turn off all your notifications. In fact, I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Actually, do I? I don't think I do. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. My kids like to call me when I'm live streaming, or sometimes they'll hop on the live stream and say, Mom, I love you. How are you? And I'm like, hi, I'm glad you're here. Anyway, so put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Tune in, because we have a lot to cover today. So let me share with you exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract top recruiters. So I'm going to go through the basic sections on your profile that need to be optimized. And this one will be simple. I'm going to show you guys lots of examples, lots of screenshots. We're also going to talk a little bit about how you can build instant credibility with social proof. So this is where you're kind of establishing your presence on LinkedIn to get noticed. We're going to talk about how you can also supercharge your job search with some of the LinkedIn tools that they have. And by the way, they're always changing their tools and their platform, but I'm going to kind of show you a little bit about what's working right now. We're also going to talk about how to network authentically and build meaningful relationships. Now, keep in mind, you guys, I love using AI in every part of this process, but we want to make sure, even though we're using AI, that it still sounds like it's coming from you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then we're going to talk about how to share valuable content to grow your influence. So let's dive into all of this. Now, you guys know, if you've ever been to a live stream of mine, there's 2 tools that I like to use in terms of my AI research and anything that I do with AI. I kind of, it's like my AI teacher, my assistant, whatever you guys want to call it. These are the 2 tools that I like to use. If you have not already created an account on Chat GPT, make sure you do that. It's chat.openai.com. That's going to be tool number 1. That's the one that I use like most often, if not all the time. The other tool that you're going to want to make sure you use or that you have is Gemini. So gemini.google.com. Both of these resources are free. Now, if you guys use Google products a lot, you probably know that they're now integrating a lot into their back end, like Google Docs, Sheets, slides, all that stuff. Make sure you guys have some sort of an account, if you don't already, so that you can start using this. So again, gemini.google.com. My number 1 is chat.openai.com. So let me know in the chat if you guys are currently using AI. So type yes in the chat. Type no if you're not. I know that a lot of you probably are using it in the job search or just even day-to-day in just different tasks that you're doing. So type into the chat if you are currently using AI to help you either in your job search or day-to-day. Catherine says, pay attention, peeps. Yes, pay attention because you're definitely going to want to tune into this. Also, Catherine, thanks for the reminder. If you guys have not yet tapped the like button, make sure you do that. Make sure you also subscribe to this channel so that you're notified when we do these free live trainings or a live masterclass. This is normally where we hold a lot of our free trainings. So make sure you tap subscribe and tap the like button. Now, I want to jump into the very first thing, which is optimizing your profile to attract top recruiters. So again, this is something that I reiterate all the time. I'm going to talk to you guys about the profile sections that you need to optimize. Now, here's the thing. For all of you guys that are here today, I told you if you registered or you saved your spot, you would get access to our ultimate LinkedIn profile checklist. Make sure, if you do not already have this, scan this QR code. This is a free resource for you. You can actually scan this code, get this right now. Also go to heatheraustin.online/LinkedIn. If you're not into scanning QR codes, that's okay too. You'll be able to get the download right away. I do think it asks you to confirm your email address, so make sure you confirm your email address and then you'll get the download. You can follow along with this download right now while I'm going through each of these profile sections. So make sure you guys do that. Now, the very first thing that you always want to make sure you have optimized is your professional headshot. Now, I'm going to share examples and what it should look like as we're going throughout today's masterclass. But just know that's always going to be number one, top of the list. The next thing after that is going to be your LinkedIn headline. I am going to tell you a little bit today about the different types of headlines that you can use for LinkedIn. However, what we've done inside the Toolkit AI edition is we have included a lot of examples, resources, AI prompts, anything that you need to actually really hone in and have the perfect headline. Today, I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what that looks like. You also want to make sure you have your LinkedIn About summary optimized. Now, this is, again, I've said this so many times before, this is one of the most overlooked sections on LinkedIn, but this is where you really want to be intentional with your keywords, what you're putting in that headline or in that summary, because that's what a lot of times recruiters, when they go to search for someone that does what you do, a lot of those keywords will pop through to them, and then hopefully you show up as one of their top 10, top 20 searches. So LinkedIn About summary, I'm going to show you an example in just a second. We always want to make sure our work experience is optimized. I hate when I go to a LinkedIn profile and I see someone just has their title and that's it, and the place that they work, and they have no information on that work experience section. So I'm going to show you an example of that in a second as well. Education and training, this is a big one. Make sure you have this one optimized. Skills and endorsements. So you guys, if you've been to any of my LinkedIn sessions before, you know that LinkedIn is going for a skills-based recruiter approach. So that means a lot of recruiters, when they go to the platform and they search for someone that, again, does what you do, if you have certain skills in your profile, you're going to pop up higher on their search results. And then finally, recommendations. So we're going to dive into all of this, and I'm going to show you guys examples of all of that in just a second. Now, question for you, of all of those sections that I just introduced to you, which part of your profile do you struggle with the most? I'll pop that slide back up, but which part of your profile do you struggle with the most? So I like to call this my 7 to 8 sections. I've combined skills and endorsements, even though those typically are two different sections on LinkedIn. And we do show you inside the Toolkit AI edition all of the prompts and all the things that you need to do to get those sections really optimized. But when you look at this slide, which one do you think that you struggle with the most? Pop that into the chat. While you're popping that in, let me show you an example of each of these items. So when we talk about your headline, or excuse me, your profile photo, this is where you want to make sure you have a good profile photo, right? A lot of times people will put and I'm actually not super opposed to selfies as I used to be, because I do think cameras take an okay picture, but if you can even have someone else take it for you, I think that's ideal. But with your profile photo, you want to make sure it's clear. Make sure you include like a recent photo. Don't use something from like 5, 10, 15 years ago. Put something that looks like you right now. A professional, make sure it's professional. Make sure it's relevant to your industry. Make sure you have like a facial expression that looks friendly, right? Don't like be grumpy in your photo. Make sure it's like, oh, I would like to reach out to that person, right? You want to have a plain neutral background if you can, nothing busy. Make sure that you're also kind of from the elbows up, right? Or even like shoulders up. You can see in my profile photo, I'm just like elbows up so that we can actually see your face, okay? So that's going to be one of the first things that you want to consider. Now, the next piece to your profile is again going to be your headline. So this is going to be one of the most important sections in addition to your about summary. When it comes to the headline, I'm going to share with you 3 different ways that you can write your headline. However, we go into much more detail inside of the Toolkit AI edition in terms of examples, prompts, templates, all the things. If you're interested in joining us in that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that at the end. So with the headline, you want it to be concise. You want to include keywords and keyword phrases that are relevant to your industry. You also want to make sure, if you can, highlight some sort of unique skill or some sort of expertise. I do not want you to have anything like the default LinkedIn headline, which LinkedIn will automatically take your current job title and they'll put that in the headline. Hopefully, most of you guys, for all of my regular amazing community that is here, hopefully you guys aren't doing that anymore. Hopefully you have it tailored somewhat to your industry and to the position or career opportunity that you're looking for. And then we're never going to, again, have actively seeking, right? We're never going to put like actively looking for a job or please hire me or whatever sometimes people put in there. So I'm going to share 3 different ways that you can write the headline. I'm not going into detail into each of these items because we would be here forever today. Again, if you want more information on that is in our Toolkit AI edition. But when it comes to the headline, there's 3 methods that I want you to employ. One of 3 of these, right? You can always include your desired position title. You can have some sort of industry specific hard skills after that. And again, examples are all in the toolkit. The next part to that is the next method is your desired position title, your industry specific hard skills, and then some sort of value proposition. So the value proposition is, what do you bring to the table? What are you offering? What makes you so unique out of anyone else? The third method that you could put into practice here is desired position title again, your industry specific hard skills, and then some sort of results driven achievement statement. I actually like the value proposition. So method number 2 is one of my favorites. Again, I'm not sharing examples with you guys today because we have so much to cover. And if you want examples, templates, specifics, all that good stuff, make sure you take a look at the toolkit. Now, in addition to your LinkedIn headline, right? After your LinkedIn headline is going to be your LinkedIn about summary. So when it comes to the about summary, this is just an example here that you can see. And I was going to say this was mine, but this is not mine. This is one of the examples that we provide to our toolkit members, but this shows you how you can kind of break things up in your summary. One of the worst things when I go to LinkedIn profiles, and by the way, I look at a lot of LinkedIn profiles just from with my coaching sessions with my Career Academy members, is if you just have like paragraphs of text, you haven't really written it out thoughtfully, it's too much overload, you're not using any formatting. And by the way, you can't really format a lot on LinkedIn, but you can capitalize things, you can add symbols in there, you can do certain things to make it more readable. So when we look at the summary with paragraph 1, this is where we're talking a little bit about what we're most passionate about in our career. We're talking about what drives us most about the choice of our career. We're talking about why we're dedicated to this industry. We're talking a little bit about who we are, who we help, and why we help them. Now, when we look at the second paragraph of our LinkedIn about summary, this is where you're starting to mention the commitment that you have to solving some of the industry's largest pain points, or some of your industry's largest pain points. You can start including volunteer work here. You can even include, if you're transitioning careers or if you have a career gap, you can mention something like that in paragraph 2. You can also mention something fun. So I always recommend to everyone, add some sort of personality here. Remember, when it comes to LinkedIn, it is your online resume. However, you can speak in first person, where on a resume, you're not going to do that, right? So when it comes to LinkedIn, you can start saying I, me, and my, and you can talk with a little bit more expression, with a little bit more personality, and with a little bit more character. Now, after paragraph 2, inside of the summary, is where I like to see your professional career highlights. Now, if you've ever watched a resume writing video of mine, you know that if you're an experienced professional, you're going to have some highlights at the top of your resume. You can actually just take those same highlights and pop them into your LinkedIn profile, right? And inside of that about summary. This is going to, again, be like 3 to 4 solid bullet points. We want these to be accomplishment oriented. We want them to be results driven. Again, anytime you can get numbers, data, metrics, timelines, anything like that in there, recruiters love to see that, and hiring managers love to see that. So again, we want that to be inside of the about summary. Now, below that paragraph, I always like to have some sort of expertise section. So what I'll do is I'll just capitalize the word expertise, and I'll get those keywords or keyword phrases that are so specific to either my job title or my industry, and I'll put those right into the expertise section. Now, a repetition of this is the skills section in the about summary. This is where LinkedIn allows you to add up to 5 skills that, again, will catch the attention of recruiters. These are skills that you can start to get endorsed for, which I'm going to show you how to do, or I'll show you a little bit about endorsements in just a second here. But the expertise section and then the top skills, that's kind of a reiteration of that. You can repeat those in the expertise section. I actually highly recommend that you do, just because, again, that's like another keyword or keyword phrase that's showing up on your profile, and hopefully you're getting found by using the right keywords and keyword phrases. Now, my next question for you is, how would you rank your LinkedIn about summary? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your LinkedIn about summary? Yes, I'm going to answer a couple of questions because while you guys are typing that in. W. Taylor, hello, happy to see you, says, so should we keep it plain and remove emojis? Okay, this is such a good question. I am like, the emoji thing, listen, if you guys are on my email list, and we have close to 70,000 people on our email list, I use emojis sometimes here and there in the emails. But I do not love to see an overuse of emojis on your LinkedIn profile. Rather than emojis, I like you to use like simple symbols. I mean, emojis do catch attention. And by the way, if you start using, or when you start using AI, if you haven't already done that, it will start throwing emojis in. I'm not opposed to them, but I want you to keep them to a bare minimum. I want you to, think of LinkedIn still as like a professional platform. And I'm not, you could put them in your headline. I don't like to do that. That's me. But if you have an industry that is a little bit more casual, you can do that, but just don't overuse the emojis. Good question. I love that. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, I love it. Amanda says 4. Victoria, happy to see you, says 4. Ashley, so happy that you're here, says 3. Let's see. Greg says 3.5. Jeff says 5. Kathy says 4. Michael, hi, Michael. How are you? Says 4. I love it. Okay, so we're seeing Tracy, you might be the only number one that I see. That's okay. If you guys go back and look at the example that I just provided you, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, put your career highlights in there, add an expertise section, and then make sure you have your skills super optimized. You're only going to be able to put 5 skills on that profile under the summary. So be really, really, really strategic about which ones you put in there. I'm going to talk about the skills section in a second here as well. Now, remember, you guys, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition for career and job search mastery. I'm going to show you everything that's inside of it. I actually have David's going to be coming on in just a second here. He's going to talk to you a little bit about what happened with his job search after he implemented some of the strategies, the templates, the AI resources, and all that good stuff. So stick around for that. Now, after your summary, is your experience section. So I'm going to kind of break the experience section down a little bit. We always want some sort of catchy job title. You can actually change this at any time. So let's say you're an operations manager or a project manager or an accountant or something like that. You don't have to just have accountant or project manager. You can make it fun. You can make it interesting. Don't go overboard, right? But you can add whatever you want to your job title. Of course, stick to like something similar to what you're doing. You're not going to like invent some random title that you're not doing, right? So stick with what you're doing, but feel free to change that because it's going to make it a little bit catchier. After the job title inside the experience section, I like to see just a little introductory paragraph about some of your overarching responsibilities, or kind of, you could even talk a little bit about the company in this title, in this paragraph if you wanted, but just give us a little bit of information inside that first paragraph. You can highlight notable projects if you want. You can like provide examples. You can kind of do whatever you want here, but just make sure it sounds professional. If you've ever attended a resume writing masterclass of mine, you can take that same information that we have you write on your resume under the job title, and you can actually just transfer it right into LinkedIn. Now, after paragraph 1, this is your career highlights. So kind of like think of these as the bullet points that you would have on your resume. Be very specific about which ones you decide to share here. We're not going to include an entire novel of information, but we do want something here to show the impact that we've made, any sort of results, any sort of any progress, projects, again, things like that. Think about what are your most noteworthy accomplishments, and that's what we want to have you add to your experience section. Now, after that, again, you can add skills to each work experience. So make sure you do that. Here's the thing I want you to remember though. We're not going to just all of a sudden start randomly adding skills that do not align with the industry or the position that we currently have or the position that we are going for. You need to be really intentional about the skills you add. I'll show you some screenshots in a second so that you can kind of start brainstorming which skills you want to add, but you want to think of it as skills that recruiters would be searching for to find someone like you. Now, the last section in the experience area would be featured content. If you have a PDF, a publication, a PowerPoint, a video, if you have anything like that that shows you in action, you can always add that to the experience section as well. I've been seeing a lot more of this lately, which I love. I think it's amazing. If you have something interesting and engaging to add that just kind of shows how amazing you are, get it into that featured section. In fact, here's my next question for you. Have you ever used media elements like images or videos in your experience section? So are any of you guys doing that? Type into the chat, yes. Feel free to tell us exactly what it is as well that you're using, or no, if you've never even considered doing that. So type yes or no into the chat. All right, I'm gonna answer a couple of questions. So let's see. Charles popped through with a question. I'm gonna grab that. Let me see if it will fit on the screen. Okay, good. Okay, Charles says, I have a detailed question for the about section. I lost my job 15 months ago, and I've been taking care of my mom with dementia because I'm the only family member she has. How do I explain? Oh, Charles, I'm sorry to hear that. That's not a fun experience. But thank goodness that you're there for your mom. So here's what I would do. You can always mention, you could say this on a resume, you could say this in a cover letter, you could put this on your LinkedIn profile, but you don't have to necessarily get into the details about it. And if you're going to add it on your LinkedIn profile in the summary, let's say you were going to add that in paragraph 2, I want it to be one simple line of something about taking care of a family member, or currently, you don't have to say mom with dementia. You don't have to put any of those details in, but you could say something like career gap due to taking care of a family member, or something with health issues. And you know what? Here's the other thing I would do, Charles, is I would kind of draft out what it is that you want to say, and I would go ask your favorite AI assistant how to make it sound even better, and then you could put that in there. Now, this is the thing. You also don't want to draw too much attention to this, because I want you to be focusing on the value you are bringing to an employer rather than the gap, right? Rather than what's going on. You can also talk about some of the things that you're doing to take care of her, like schedule. You have to organize schedules, appointments, things like that, that could be showing, hey, even though I've taken time off for this, I'm still doing X, Y, and Z. Like you're still working technically, right? In some capacity. So think about it that way, but do not put too much emphasis on it, because we want the emphasis to be on what it is that you're doing to contribute to the job market and contribute to an employer. Good question. Yeah. Tim says, put the Q's in front of your question or type question. Yeah, when you guys put question in, it actually lights up yellow on my end. Oh, thanks, Victoria. I love you. You are so great. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of people are saying no on the videos or featured content in the work experience section. That's okay. If you do have something that you can pop in there that shows something that you're doing, you can always do that, but don't feel like you have to add the featured section. That's kind of just like a bonus. Now, really quickly, I'm going to show you a quick example of what your education is going to look like. School, degree, when you got the degree, what type of degree it is. You can put all that in there. If you do not have a formal education, remember that you can also put certifications. You can put training that you're doing, professional development. You can also put your school in there if you haven't graduated, and let's say you still have a year or 2 years left. You could put expected graduation and then leave the dates out. You don't have to put dates in. You can actually add that in the education section so that someone sees that you actually have some sort of education. But don't, if you just have training and certifications, that's okay as well. Now, when it comes to the skills, okay, this is the section I've wanted to get to because this is super important. LinkedIn allows you to add up to 100 skills. Again, if you've seen any of my trainings before, I do not recommend that you add up to 100 skills. I don't recommend that because it waters down your profile, and I want you to be getting endorsements for the skills that you currently have on your profile. So you can add how many you want. I would say start with like 20, 25, maybe up to 30 skills, and then make sure the top skills that you want to be endorsed for are at the very top of your list, because that's what's going to show up on your homepage. So you'll notice in mine, I have LinkedIn training and resume writing. And then people that come and see my profile can endorse me for those skills, just like I could go endorse you or whatever. Your network can start endorsing you for your skills. The more endorsements you have for that certain skill set, the more or the higher you're going to rank when a recruiter goes to search for you with that skill. So that's where we want to start asking for endorsements. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So keep that in mind. If you ever need to edit your skill or add a skill, you'll notice I have that circled. You just click on the pencil icon or click on the plus icon. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is recommendations. Now, I'm going to share with you guys, let's see, did I include that template? I did. I'm going to share with you guys a template for asking for endorsements in just a second here. But before we get into that, the next part after your skill section is going to be your recommendations. I would love to see all of you have 3 to 5 to 7 recommendations at least on your profile. If you don't already have that, you're going to want to get your screenshot tool out, because I'm going to share with you a recommendation template that you can use to actually ask someone to give you a recommendation. So hold tight for that. I'm going to show that in just a second. But before I do, on the top of your profile, what are the top 2 skills that you have? Now, maybe you're thinking about it. You don't know. Go look at your profile. See what your top 2 skills are. If you don't know what they are, what would you put as your top 2 skills? So again, I showed you mine was LinkedIn training and resume writing, right? That's on mine. So what would be on yours, your top 2 skills on your LinkedIn profile? Type that into the chat. While you guys are typing that in, the next thing I want to talk about, so this gets us into our endorsements and our recommendations, is how you can build instant credibility with social proof. So the more people that can endorse you, the more recommendations you have, the more people are kind of vouching for you, the stronger your profile is, and the better chance you have of showing up in search results for recruiters. So take a screenshot of this. This is your endorsement template that you're going to ask someone for an endorsement. In fact, let me take unless you want my beautiful face on your screen. Let me take my face off of the page for just a second, and you guys can take a screenshot of that. I know you can still hear me. So take a screenshot of the endorsement template request. I'm going to give you guys just a couple seconds to do that, and then I'm going to pop up the recommendation request. So get that on there. Okay, ready? I'm coming back on. Okay. So you have your endorsement template. You're just basically going to say, hey, how are you doing? Looking to build my profile. Could you endorse me for these skills? Give them the skills. If you need to tell them, like, remember we did this project, you might not even have to put that in there. And then you're going to say, hey, I'd be more than happy to return the favor. Thanks again. And I hope all is well. So keep this under your belt. Make sure you use this when you are asking for endorsements. The other thing you can do to get endorsements is you can actually just go to someone's profile and start endorsing people that are in your network. And then hopefully they come back and do the same for you. Okay, next template. You guys ready for it? And let me know if you ever need me to come back to these, is your recommendation template. So again, I'm going to take my face off the page, give you guys just a couple of seconds to screenshot that. You guys know how to screenshot. I hope you do. Okay, let me pull my face off. So for your recommendation template, this is where you're talking about optimizing your LinkedIn profile, expanding your career opportunities again. You're talking about LinkedIn is a great recommendation tool. Would you mind writing me a recommendation? Now, if you guys do decide to join us in the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition, we have over 100. Oh my gosh, I want to now say we're up to like 200 templates and AI prompts and all the things, and they're all really, really, really well organized. So you're not going to get in there and be like, oh, where do I find this? Or where do I find that? We've organized everything really well, but all of these templates and resources are in there for you, along with how you can use AI to help you make these even better, to help you draft your own recommendation templates for other people. So you guys got those, right? So we had our endorsement request and our recommendation template. So I'm moving on. Okay. You guys ready? Next question in the chat. Do you have at least 3 recommendations on LinkedIn? Do you? Type into the chat. Yes, if you do. You might need to go look at your profile. In fact, sometimes someone will send a recommendation and you won't even know it. And then you'll go to your profile like months later and it will say approve so-and-so's recommendation. And you're like, oh, I didn't even know that they left me one. If you guys do have email notifications, then hopefully you'll get notified when someone does that. Yes, awesome, Deb. Top skills, sales processes, customer relationship management. Love that. That's good. Tim, I love it. Customer service, organization skills, data entry, MS Excel, teamwork. Love the organization skills and data entry. That's great. Yes. Oh, you guys are saying, no, I don't have those recommendations. That's okay. Use the template today that I gave you to go and get some. And I want to make sure that you get some of those on there because that is something that will boost your credibility on the platform. All right. What I want to show you really quickly is I want to talk just quickly about the job search tools within LinkedIn. So there's a lot of different tools in there. I'm going to show you guys just a couple of screenshots really quickly so that you can kind of see where you're going with the job search and what tools you should be focusing on maybe not focusing on. Most of us are going to have the top of our page is going to look similar to this, where you have the jobs tab. If you guys are not using that tab yet, make sure you start using it. So I'll show you just at a quick glance what you'll find in there. And I'm going to kind of go through these slides a little bit quickly because we're running out of time and I still have so much to cover with you today. So when it comes to the jobs tab, most of you will have a screen that looks similar to this. LinkedIn, and it also depends on the country you're in, LinkedIn will sometimes reorganize these based on your activity on the platform. It will reorganize them based on what you're searching for and things like that. But in general, you're going to have something that looks similar to this. The thing that I want you to pay attention to is that left side section where you can go to your job alerts, you can go to your preferences, things like that. That's going to probably be one of the sections that you use the most in the jobs tab. You'll also have the option to create a job alert. If you guys have not yet done the job alert yet, make sure you get that set up as fast as possible because they're going to start sending you emails based on the job title that you're looking for. The other thing is when you are showing recruiters that you're open to opportunities, when it comes to the open to opportunity, I am not a big fan of the open to work banner that you have on the profile. I actually like you to just go into the jobs tab and set it up in this section, which I'll show you how to do that in just a second because I do have screenshots for that. You could do suggested job searches. So this is actually showing you like what types of jobs you should be looking at based on what you've already searched, based on your profile. And that's why having your profile optimized is super, super important. You can do the explore with job collections. This is kind of a newer feature that they've implemented like a year or so ago. You can kind of narrow it down to positions that are remote, positions that have the easy apply, positions that are in finance, positions that are a startup company. So you can use that to go in and find positions as well. And then you can also just do an advanced search for jobs. So that's all in there. We are not getting into detail in this. In fact, we'll do in like a month or two, we're going to do our big, huge LinkedIn mini series that we do where we do dive into all of this. But for today's purposes, we still have a lot of other things to talk about. Now, when it comes to that open to work feature, I want to show you guys how to use it properly because I told you I don't love the banner around your face and I don't want you to be notifying the entire world. I want you to, however, be notifying recruiters on the back end. So how you're going to do that is when you're on your home page, you're going to click on the Open to tab or the Open to button, and then it says Finding a New Job. So you're going to click on that, and then that's going to take you to the back end where you can actually just notify recruiters and not the entire world. So keep in mind that if you're working with a really amazing, awesome recruiter or company, they have the tools to be able to find you. You don't have to have that banner on your page, especially if you're currently employed and you're looking for a new job. Your employer's not going to appreciate that open to work banner, but you can still notify recruiters on the back end. So with that being said, do you currently have the open to work banner on your profile? Is it activated? And don't feel bad if it is. Type yes or no in the chat if your profile has that open to work banner activated. Okay, oh my gosh, we have so much to cover still. I can't wait to dive into this with you. Yeah, Emmanuel, happy to have you, says no recommendations. W. Taylor says, yes, but they're old. That's okay. Catherine, I love the skills, team building, and public speaking. Catherine Armas, not Catherine, our Catherine. In the chat. Thanks, you guys. You guys, can you give Tim and Catherine a big, huge shout out for being in the chat with us today? I am just thrilled that they're here. I tell them every time, I couldn't do this without you. I love that you guys are in here moderating and speaking our language in terms of LinkedIn. You guys are great. Okay, so the fourth thing, and we're getting close here, is we want you to be able to network authentically and build meaningful relationships. So I've shared with you guys a couple things, or I've shared this screen in the past before, where 80% of job offers come from networking, not online applications. Now, we had one of our Academy members share her story this week during one of our sessions, and she got an amazing job offer. In fact, Janice, you're probably not here, but say hello if you are. And it all came through her diligent efforts of networking and using all of her contacts to land her a new position. So as much as I talk about LinkedIn and as much as I talk about what you need to do, you also need to equally, if not put more time into the networking side of it, because that at the end of the day is what's going to give you the biggest impact. Now, there's two types of networking that I want you to think about. I want you to think about nurturing your existing relationships, and then I also want you to think about building new relationships. So when it comes to the existing relationships, this is going to be people you've worked with, colleagues, people you went to school with, people you know in your neighborhood or in your community. It's really going to be about people that you already know. And then you're building, when we look at building your new relationships, this is people that work for a company that you want to work for, people that have similar job titles as you, people that are on the outside of your current network, but we are always working to develop connections and improve existing connections all the time. Like if you're going to be on LinkedIn, I would say spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes every single day just with this task alone, okay? Because that's really what's going to move the needle forward and get you on your way in terms of a better job offer, better career opportunities, so on and so forth. All right, next question for you is, what is one company that you would like to work for? So type into the chat one company that you would like to work for. While you guys are typing that in, and by the way, if there's 2 or 3 companies, type that in as well. While you're typing that in, I want to go into our very last kind of piece of information here, which is you guys becoming thought leaders and sharing valuable content to help grow your influence on LinkedIn. I'm going to share with you guys 5 different ideas that will help you be able to start posting content, show up in your true voice, or just start showing up. Now, my Career Academy members, I am so freaking proud of them, because when I give them this challenge, I start seeing all their posts show up in my newsfeed and LinkedIn, and I'm like, yay! You guys are putting it into practice, and it's such a valuable way to get attention, to gain authority in your industry, to show yourself as a thought leader. Let me share these quick ideas with you. So, and this is simple. This is really easy, is just sharing some sort of professional win, whether it's something that's like big or small. Maybe you completed a certification. Maybe you learned a new skill. Maybe you did something, right? Anything. It could be small, it could be big, but just sharing any sort of professional win, it goes a long way on the platform. The other thing you could do is like comment on industry news or trends. So let's say you guys have your folks that you follow on LinkedIn and their posts are starting to come up for you. You can share their post, or you can even take a version of their post and mention it in your post and say, hey, I noticed this today, super interesting. Here's what I learned, something to that effect. You can share a career tip, again, what I said, or a lesson learned. So maybe you're going through something in your current workplace. Maybe you're going through something in your job search. Maybe it's even just, I learn lessons from my freaking kids every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are like so smart. So it could be anything like that you want to share in the newsfeed, a career tip or some sort of lesson learned. The other thing you can pop into the newsfeed is a project or some sort of portfolio piece that you're working on. It could be a long-term project. It could be something that you worked on and you got done in a day. Whatever that is, people love to see this stuff. And then give recognition to others. This is actually one of my favorites, because this shows that you are supportive, that you enjoy other people, that you love to celebrate other people's wins. Take a screenshot of this page, you guys. My challenge for you today is to jump over to LinkedIn before the end of the day and pick one of these content ideas and pop it into the newsfeed. You can even tag me if you want, and I'll go and I'll like your post. I'll comment on it. I'll share it with my community. So make sure you guys do that. Take a screenshot of this, because I really want to see you succeed on the platform, and being able to post content in the newsfeed is one of the most valuable ways to do that. Now, real quick, before I share with you guys a little bit more about the toolkit, and besides this action step, because I gave you guys a challenge, but I want to know what's one action step that you can take today to stay ahead of the job market. So when you're thinking about the current state of the job market, when you're thinking about LinkedIn, it could be anything. What is one action step that you want to take today that will help you get ahead of the job market, that will help you master LinkedIn, that will help you land that life-changing job opportunity? Now, we had over 2,000 people officially save their spot for this event. A lot of folks are going to be watching us on replay. If you are watching this on replay, make sure you comment below this video. But a lot of you we got hundreds of emails before this event even started. A lot of you had talked a little bit about, hey, I just want to attract higher career opportunities. I don't want to deal with recruiter spam anymore. I don't want to deal with the ghostings anymore. I don't want the fake job postings. Some of you mentioned that when it comes to LinkedIn, you're hesitant to reach out to your network to let them know that you're open to opportunities. You're hesitant to reach out to new people. But here's the thing, you guys. I promise that if my Toolkit members, my Career Academy members, my clients, my coaching clients, all the people that I work with on a weekly basis here, if they can do this and we can see as much success from them, I know that you can do the exact same. This is why I want to invite you into our Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition for career and job search mastery. If you're wondering what this is, I'm going to show you in just a second, but it's basically your ultimate source for navigating every step of your job search using AI. So if you're afraid of AI, if you're wondering, how do I even put it into each of these phases of my job search, I show you exactly how to do it in the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition. So we go all the way from planning and personal branding to interviews and salary negotiation, to your LinkedIn profile, to your resume, to your cover letter. And we've put it together in an easy to use format so that you're not scattered trying to figure out, what do I do next? Then what is my next step? I'm going to share with you, I'm going to bring David on in just a second, but I want to share a couple of success stories with you from folks that have used our resources and have had massive success. So Serena made a post and said, I landed my dream job as a marketing manager. I followed all of Professor Heather Austin's advice, from creating the resume and the cover letter to the interview process, to revamping my LinkedIn profile and much more. She said, I purchased her program because it made, or she said, I'm so glad that I purchased her program because it made a world of difference. Josh, I love Josh. He wrote in and said, after being laid off, I found your toolkit and it was an absolute game changer. He said that he landed a job making over $50,000 more per year. And he goes on to say 100% the best investment ever. Let's see. Oh, Robert, I might need to get my glasses on for this one. So Robert says, I used your resume template, followed all of your instructions to the letter, and landed an interview with the exact company that I was interested in. He said, I was thrilled to know that you provided everything I needed to prepare to land this position. And then Kevin, I love Kevin as well. He says, I finally got the job offer thanks to Heather and all of her help. In fact, every interview I had, I received an offer from. So here's the thing, you guys. I'm going to bring on David for just a second. It's about a 3-minute clip, maybe 3.5-minute clip. Let me know in the chat if you want to see success like these guys. Type new job. Type that into the chat while we have David come on here for a second. Here he goes. Tell me a little bit about, before you kind of started putting some of these strategies into place, what did your job search look like before that?
Before that, it was pretty much nothing, just sending out resumes, black hole, not much happened, not getting any responses. Either didn't get a response or we're not interested or we moved on. It was just kind of that black hole, nothing happening. Then she started searching and I stumbled across your stuff and I was like, wow, this looks fabulous. And it just was like, okay, I need a lot of work here. So I redid everything, my whole resume, my cover letter, my LinkedIn profile. I literally followed your strategy. And as soon as that happened, I was contacted by about 4 different employers, all within about 6 weeks. And it was just like, what just happened here? A lot of it came down to my resume, my history of my employment. What I did is I created each bullet point, but I did a little bit different. Kind of, I followed your strategy, and I was using ChatGPT. But sometimes you come across as a superhero, right? You don't want that. So you have to kind of put it back in your own words. And one of the things I found as a point for everyone else is when it spitted back the information for, here's a bullet point for you. I'm like reading it going, this doesn't really incorporate those original key skills or the challenges I've asked you to extract from it. Because I would actually say, what are the top key skills and what are the challenges in this posting? And I want you to basically sporadically implement those within my bullet points. And it didn't. So I updated that prompt to say, when you provide each bullet point, I want you to show me how you have addressed the challenge. And I want you to show me the key skills. And I also wanted, when I originally asked it to extract those top key skills, I said, wait a minute, I want to know how many times it was mentioned in the job posting. So I can actually see it. And then as soon as that happens, it's like, oh yeah, because you would actually, so you're right, I didn't incorporate. I'm like, well, of course not. Changed everything. Then of course, once you've had that all done, I just put it in my own words. So it sounded like me. And I did that with the cover letter. I followed your strategy and then the LinkedIn profile. And then the big part was when I started landing the interviews. That one job that I got, I was beyond prepared for it. I literally put hours upon hours. Just for the HR preliminary screening, I probably put in about 12 hours of preparation for it. Where most people just kind of review something. I was there for 12 hours. When they, within 5 minutes of the interview, they're like, oh my God, you got to come in and meet the person. You have to interview. I'm like, sure, I'll come down. So I was in person. As soon as I went in, I was completely prepared, sat down at the desk, pulled out a binder, pulled out like 5 papers around, pulled out a pen and paper. And they're like, she just looks at me, she's like, I go, no, I come prepared. She's like, I can see that. And with that interview, I probably put in about 16 hours of preparation. So at this point, I was like very, very confident because there was just so much preparation. What I was doing is I literally had the top skills printed and the challenges just in bullet points on the desk staring at it. So whenever we ask a question, I would just look at it and says, make sure you address these in your response and address the challenges. By the half an hour in the interview, I'm looking at them saying, I already know what your challenges are here just by our conversation, because I was taking notes and they're looking at me taking notes. But within half an hour, we're into the interview because you definitely have to meet my peers. It's like, sure. She goes, the peer you're going to meet used to do this job. He's moved on and got promoted. I says, okay. So I prepared for about another 16 hours for that interview, only a preliminary, just a half an hour interview. I think it was more of a cultural fit. They wanted to make sure I was fine. And then 5 minutes into that interview, I was so prepared for all the hours I put in. He actually had his hands laughing on the video call going, goes, David, your energy is permeating through the screen. I can feel it from here. Like you're like, wow. They told me I would get a call in about a month. I got it like 3 days later because we want to offer the job.
Wow.
I was at the top of the pay band. I was just floored. It like caught me off guard. So I was like super ecstatic. So that's why I reached out to you. Says, Heather, thank you.
Okay. The thing I love about David's story is he said the strategies, everything that he was putting into place, what at the end of the day, that's what made the biggest difference. So if we look at kind of his story, he had a job search that was stalling. His resumes were disappearing into a black hole, right? If we want to call it that. Interviews weren't coming in. He was feeling super discouraged and he really wasn't sure how to stand out in the crowded market. So what he was looking for was a clear strategic approach to revamp his resume. He worked on his LinkedIn, his interview prep. When he talked to me about his interview prep, I'm like, oh my goodness, you like hit it hard when it came to the interviews, which is such a key part to the job search process. And then the other thing I loved about what he said is how he used AI. He was using AI in every part of his job search process and making sure, this is the most important thing that he said, that he wasn't losing his authenticity. So he would come back with a bullet point or a career story or whatever that was. And he's like, oh, I need to make this sound a little bit more like me. So that's what we teach you guys how to do inside of the toolkit. He followed the step-by-step strategies, overhauled his application materials, optimized for keywords, because remember, you guys, they're putting your cover letter, your resume, your LinkedIn profile through their applicant tracking systems or their AI systems. And if you're not showing up for them, and if you're not getting recognized and landing those interviews, that means that you are not optimizing your career materials properly. So in just 6 weeks, he went from being ignored and landing he went from being ignored to landing multiple interviews and ultimately his new job, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys think this too, but David reminded me when we got on the call together, I'm like, you remind me of Liam Neeson. Do you guys know who that guy is? I'm like, I swear you like sound like him. You kind of look like him. He just reminds me of Liam Neeson. Anyway, let me show you guys our career toolkit, our enrollment page. Remember, if you go to heatheraustin.online/flash, you can join me on this page while I look at it, or you can scan this QR code. But I want to show you guys really quickly what is inside, because you're probably wondering, Heather, what's even inside this program? Let me find my, let's see, where is it? There we go. Okay. And let me pop my camera on so you guys can see me. I feel like when I'm not on the camera, like I can't see you guys, even though I can't see you anyway. But then when I'm off, I'm like, where are they? Even though you guys can still see me and hear me. Okay, so let me show you really quickly what is inside the toolkit. So we've actually broken this brand new career resource into 5 different modules for you. And we've organized them really seamlessly so that when you go in, you can really figure out, like, where do I start? Where am I struggling with the most? And which module should I start on? Well, I'm going to tell you to start on module 1. This is our welcome module. This is where you're going to get how to use the toolkit. You're going to get a complete video, which I'm going to show you the video. It's down on the enrollment page as well. You're going to get a video about how to get the most out of your experience. You actually get an entire checklist that says, go here to this module and this lesson if you're struggling with this. Go to this module or this lesson if you're struggling with that. So it's a detailed checklist for you that you can visit so that you can figure out where you need to start. And then I also have a video in there about how you're going to use the Career Experts template and example vault, which I'll show you guys that in just a second. Now, inside of module 2 is where we start with the job search process. So this is where we start planning your job search and we really start focusing on your networking, because again, that's going to be the most important part of the job search, in addition to making sure you're showing up for recruiters so that they're coming to you, because we essentially want you guys to be able to tap into that hidden job market and not have to go use these online job boards. Now, inside there, we talk about my 7-step job search life cycle. We talk about how you're going to have a targeted a targeted job search. And then we also talk about the screens on this side. I have a couple of different screens on my desk, so I have to look over here about networking for those hidden opportunities. Inside of module 3, this is where we bring it all together with your marketing materials, your resume, your cover letter, and your LinkedIn profile. And keep in mind, in every single one of these modules and in almost every single lesson, we're showing you how to use AI in the process so that you are saving yourself loads of time, being overwhelmed, and loads of frustration. Inside of module 4 is where we hone in on the interview. So this is where we want you to make that first impression. We also want you to be able to negotiate a salary that you deserve. So we go into the salary negotiation phase in this process. I'm going to show you guys some of the bonuses and the resources that do come in each of these modules. Inside of module 5, it's kind of like an overview of using AI to your advantage in the entire job search process. So I give you an introduction to AI. We also have some links to training courses that you can take that are free once you're logged into the program, where you can get a free training course with Verizon. You can get a free training course with Google all about AI prompts and really how to get started with it. But inside of module 4, we have an overview of really how you're going to do that. Your AI-powered prompts are in there, using AI in the interview process again, using AI in the resume, the cover letter, LinkedIn, all that amazing stuff. That is inside of module 5. Now, we do have some kick butt bonuses when you decide to join us inside of the toolkit. These, and most of these, actually, all of these have been updated and are brand new. So our career experts and template vault, you'll see that we have over 100 plus, and I think there's actually more than that, templates for every part of your job search process. That's all going to be inside the Career Advancement Toolkit. It's all organized so you can see exactly where to get your resume, where to get your cover letter templates, where to get all of your LinkedIn templates to help you build that profile, where to get even there's more interview templates. There's all the things that you could possibly think of. All your follow-up templates are inside the Career Experts and Template Vault. Now, we just created a brand new resource, which is our job interview response playbook. This is over 22 pages that show you exactly the top interview questions that you're going to be asked, how to answer them, a step-by-step how to answer them, a step-by-step template, and then you can then take that into your favorite AI assistant and help you refine that so that when you get into the interview, you sound like you and not an AI bot, right? We have our Ultimate AI Job Search Prompt Guide. So again, there's 120 prompts in there to help you get started with using AI if you haven't already done that. And it goes into every single phase of the job search process. From starting the job search, maybe you don't even know what position you should even be looking for. We have prompts to help you use AI to hone in on the positions, hone in on the companies, hone in on the people you should be reaching out to, your resume prompts, your cover letter prompts, your LinkedIn prompts, your salary negotiation prompts, your interview prompts. All of that is inside the Ultimate AI Job Search Prompt Guide. Brand new also inside the toolkit is our essential LinkedIn profile blueprint. So you guys all got access to our checklist. Well, the blueprint that we have in here is like 3 times the size, right? So in that free checklist that you guys have, we go even into more detail on your LinkedIn profile in the LinkedIn profile blueprint. So that one is a 12-page step-by-step guide that helps you launch a high impact profile. So you'll definitely want to look at that. Those are some of our bonuses. Now, in addition to those bonuses, we also have our trackers in here because I want you to stay organized. I want you to keep on track with everything. We don't want anything to fall through the cracks. We give you inside there our Dream Team Company Tracker. So this is where you are keeping track of the companies that you want to interview with or that you would like to work for. And we're having you keep track of very specific information so that follow-up's easy, networking comes easier. And then we also have our job search progress tracker. That's different than our Dream Team Company Tracker. The job search progress tracker is going to keep track of which positions you've applied to. Have you had interviews? Have you sent your follow-up? Do you have someone on the inside? What are the key skills required for this position? What career materials do you need to submit to get this position underway? Listen, you guys, I meet with job seekers every single week, and I know the hours that it takes to get the job search to a place where you're interviewing and hopefully landing 1, 2, maybe 3 job offers. These 2 trackers will help you keep on track and keep you organized. Now, we also have put some of our most popular career trainings in there with bonus lectures, and I brought 2 of my favorites on. If you guys don't know who Ben White is, he also has a YouTube channel. He's freaking awesome. He's what is his channel? Ben Talks Talent. If you guys want to go look him up, go look him up. He's awesome. Also, look up Orlando Hayden's on LinkedIn. These guys are massive career strategy influencers. We have bonus career lectures inside of the Toolkit AI edition with these 2 that you're not going to want to miss. When it comes to Ben, he's actually talking to us about insights from a corporate recruiter. And also Orlando is talking to us a little bit about job search visibility, personal branding, and more AI strategies. So I think these trainings are at least like 60-minute trainings inside of the toolkit, but those are bonus lectures when you decide to join us in there. Now, I always add a fast action bonus for those that are ready to take action today. So this fast action bonus will be gone by the end of the day, but if you guys decide to join us inside of the toolkit, the first 20 people that enroll in the Toolkit AI edition will get access to a special live bonus career and job search coaching session on Thursday, September 4th. So you'll get your invite-only link to that. We join on Zoom. You're able to bring your questions. My team is there. We bring career experts on so that you can ask them questions, and we dive deep into the exact where the job market is right now and what job seekers are doing right now to get interviews and get hired, because I know a lot of you are struggling with that. I know a lot of you, it's taking lots of time, but we want you to be there for this bonus strategy session. But you have to be one of the first 20. Now, I like to call those guys my hares, right? I'm not a hare, I'm like a turtle. When I'm like trying to make a decision, I'm letting the clock tick down until it's like the last 1 minute, and then I'm like, okay, I got to get this. But if you guys are a hare and you're ready to take action today, this will probably be gone by the end of the day. So if you want to join us inside the Toolkit AI edition and be one of the first 20, make sure you do that. Now, really quickly, let's talk a little bit about the value of this program. So my team and I have been behind the scenes for the last couple months putting this together for you, because we know how difficult the job market is. We know that there's a lot going on. We know the time it's taking for job seekers to get hired right now, and we want to streamline that. We don't want you to be taking hours and hours upon hours, even though sometimes it does take that much time, but we want you to be doing it effectively. We want you to be putting into practice the right strategy. So the entire package, our Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition, is valued at more than $35.70. However, we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to price it out $35.70. What we are going to do though, which our normal price, and by the way, you guys are getting the introductory flash offer. We have never offered this program before. We are never going to offer it this low again. Think of you guys as like the inaugural members in this program. Normally this program is going to be priced at $597, but your investment today, if you want to join us for our introductory flash offer, is $247. But here's the thing, you have to remember that this flash offer expires on Thursday, August 14th at 11:59 p.m. So you'll have until Thursday to make your decision if you're one of the turtles like me. However, if you want to make sure you get in on our fast action bonus, you'll want to take advantage of this today. So we're not gonna give it to you guys for $597. We're giving it to you for $247. So what you're gonna do is use this link, heatheraustin.online. Also, Tim and Catherine, you guys are amazing. They have also popped the link into the chat for you. If you're watching this on replay, use the link in the comments below. You can also scan this QR code and it's going to take you to this enrollment page. The other thing I want you guys to do, if you're really like, hey, let me see what the back end of this looks like, I have an entire video on the enrollment page that actually walks you through what's inside the toolkit. So you're going to look at how the modules are broken up. You'll get to see where you're going to go, all that good stuff. That is on the enrollment page. So if you guys are interested in diving a little bit deeper, you can dive deeper. And I know we got lots of questions, so I'm going to answer those in a second. We do offer secure checkout using either PayPal or credit card. So make sure when you go to heatheraustin.online/flash, you can use one of these options, credit card or PayPal, which I love the PayPal option. A lot of people use PayPal. Let me share a couple more success stories with you guys, and then I'm going to jump into questions. So Andrea says, she says, I acquired the Career Advancement Toolkit. She also purchased one of our resume writing courses, Resume Mastery Pro. She said, let me put my glasses on because hers is a little bit small. She says, you've fostered a supportive community, reassuring me that I wasn't alone and that numerous other gifted individuals, just like you guys, were facing the same challenges. She talks about her job. She says, tomorrow marks the beginning of my new role as Director of Marketing Operations. She says, I firmly believe, and she talks about this role and how it's going to help her in her career. She says it's going to foster both my professional and personal development and facilitate upward progression with the enterprise. She goes on to say, I have enthusiastically suggested to numerous job seekers to follow you on LinkedIn and take advantage of the resources and video sessions you offer. I love Andrea. She's so amazing. And then Heather, I love Heather because she has my same name. She says, I wanted to give you an update. I landed a job. She says, your resume and cover letter advice helped me get interviews with almost every company I submitted, and an offer that was well above the salary range. And then, Tammy, I love Tammy too. I forget who I put in here. Tammy says, your course helped me secure a position with a pay rate $25,000 higher than I had ever been paid. She says a year later, she received another $7,000 increase. And then she says, next year, I'm joining the 6-figure club. And I'm like, yeah, baby. And then here's what she says. She says, do exactly what Heather says. You will succeed. So you guys, if you follow these strategies, you implement what I'm teaching you either here today. If you decide to join us in the toolkit, fantastic. We'd love to have you. You're going to have success just like these people. Now, at a glance, just so that you guys can see this at a quick glance, here is what is inside the toolkit. Remember, you also have lifetime access to the curriculum. Now, I know there's lots of questions that are coming in about our original Career Advancement Toolkit and then our new I Edition Toolkit. This new I Edition is a brand new product. This is a brand new resource that we have sourced and created and implemented based on AI, based on all the latest job search strategies. If you did purchase the toolkit or you have enrolled in the toolkit in the past, you still have access to all of that. That will never go away in your online library. However, if you want access to the new edition of the toolkit, if you decide to join us in the AI edition, you will have lifetime access to that as well. So we are actually going to be phasing out our old Career Advancement Toolkit, and we're going to be bringing anyone that wants to join us, new members to my community, new members that might want a little bit more help other than what YouTube can give them or other than the videos that we have out on YouTube. The new AI edition is a brand new product. So if you want to join us in there, you can, but you will have lifetime access to that. So for any of my my old toolkit users, I'm not going to call you guys my old toolkit users, my original, what should I call you guys? I want to call you guys like my babies, because that was my baby when I first got started on YouTube, was the original Career Advancement Toolkit. You guys still have access to that. The new and improved AI edition, that is a brand new resource. If you want to join us in there, then you definitely can. Now, I want to answer some questions really quick too, because I know, and Tim and Catherine, thanks you guys so much for being here and being in the chat. I'm going to go through and just see what we have. If you have any last minute questions for me about LinkedIn, about your resume, about your job search, please get that into the chat, because I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes to go through some of these questions. I might have to scroll up here a little bit. Sorry, you guys, give me a second, and I'll kind of just pop through here. Love it. W. Taylor says, how do you avoid giving away your age in your resume? Well, there's lots of different things you can do. One thing I would suggest just right off the top is I wouldn't put anything in education, like in terms of dates. You can take all your dates out. The other thing, and if you guys have ever seen a resume writing masterclass of mine, that I suggest is in your profile or in your resume summary, if you put something like over 25 years of experience in blah, 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 that's going to kind of let on that you do have a little bit of experience. But here's the thing also, I would not let this hold you back or be a disadvantage at all, because you have to think about your wisdom. You have to think about your experience. You have to think about your talent. A lot of people don't have what you have, and you're now bringing it to the forefront. So rather than focusing on age and all the years of experience, you're going to talk about how experienced you are and then go from there. So there's a couple of things you can do. I mean, people can kind of get an idea of how much experience you have, but you're showing up as a young soul that has, the world at their fingertips, and you're going to do an amazing job for them. So I would look at it that way. Good question. I love it. I love that you guys are talking to Tim and Catherine too. These guys are like two of my most favorite people. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. If you guys want to ask them questions, by the way, also, you guys should be networking with each other on LinkedIn too, if you are not already doing that. Yes. And Catherine did pop our LinkedIn group into the chat. So if you guys want to join us, we do have a free LinkedIn community. We kind of just started the LinkedIn community. We've been using Facebook for a really long time. I think we have close to like 20,000 members in our Facebook group, but Facebook's sort of strange, right? Like people don't always see posts. I think LinkedIn is a little bit better. So use the link that Catherine popped in if you guys want to join us in our free LinkedIn group. Yes, JR Trainer says, please address ethics and boundaries for sharing content about your accomplishments and learning with your current employer. Okay, let me ask you this, if you want to clarify this question. When you talk about ethics and boundaries for sharing content, what exactly do you mean? If we're talking about your accomplishments, things you've done, if it's like a sensitive topic, is that what you mean? Where there might be something that you can't always share, you can be a little bit more vague about that. I work with a lot of, or I have in the past worked with a lot of bankers that have like super secret job titles, and they don't want people to know what they do. And sometimes we do have to be a little bit more specific, especially for like identity theft and things like that. But I would say, you can pretty much share things you've done. What I want you to think about though, is I want you to think about like achievements. I want you to think about the results. I want you to think about the impact. If there's something that kind of crosses the line in terms of maybe you don't want other people to know or whatever, you can keep it more vague. You can use different terminology for it. But again, at the end of the day, you really want to share what you've done in the past, the results you've achieved, the impact you've had, things like that. So if you're still here, JRA Trainer, let me know what you mean by ethics and boundaries. Yes. Okay. Victoria says, if you have the original toolkit, would this be an addition to that or the academy? Thank you for your help. Yeah, so I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. This is not in the academy. This is a separate resource, and this is not the original toolkit. So this is an entire brand new product. So if you want to join us in there, definitely, I would love to have you in there, Victoria. And Victoria, I can't remember. I think you might be in the academy. All of our Career Academy members, you guys are automatically coming to that coaching session on September 4th. So you guys are already getting into that. You guys will be there with me that day. But anyone else that's not in the academy, that will be for the first 20 people, just so that we can make sure we have enough room for everyone and we get questions answered and all that good stuff during that session. Yes, Tim, I love you. The new course is different course from the original toolkit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Victoria, good question. In terms of the difference between the two toolkits. So, I mean, both of them are great. Let me just tell you, even the original toolkit, you're still getting like pretty much everything you need. the new toolkit is really, really, really heavily implementing AI in like every part of the job search. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while, I started talking about AI like maybe a year and a half ago and really trying to bring it to the forefront for you guys so that you can use it in the job search. But over the last like 5-6 months, we are really seeing that the job seekers that know how to use this properly, that are implementing it in every phase of the job search, that they are seeing massive success. So we decided to bring it all together in an AI edition and give you the resources, all the templates, all the prompts, all the video lessons, all the guides, everything that you need. And by the way, it sounds like a lot, but it's very, very, very well organized. If you guys have ever listened to any of my, you guys probably have, any of my my success videos, that's what most people talk about, is how organized everything is. So it's all organized for you. Now, the original toolkit, that's still gonna help you. However, with where we are going with AI, you guys all need to become masters of it, not just in your job search, but in everything that you're doing. And it's going to take effect even more in a year, in 2 years, and 3 years. So that's really what we're trying to do, is keep you guys ahead of the market and keep these strategies fresh so that when you are going on interviews, when you are applying for positions, that it's streamlining everything and you know exactly what you're doing with AI. So that's really where the new toolkit has come from. Hi, Helen. Happy to see you here. Okay, older version. Yeah, I answered that question. Yeah, I think that's good. Yes, Teddy, price of the toolkit. So you guys, let me pop this slide back up again so that you guys can see this. Oh, and I don't even have the QR code on this slide. That's okay. Let me clear off the chat. Okay. Maybe I could pop it's okay. I'll just leave it here. So when you join us in the toolkit, this is our introductory flash offer. So you have to think of this as let me give you guys a story. When I first started YouTube, I created the original toolkit, like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Do you guys want to know how much we had the toolkit, the investment for the toolkit was at that point in time? It was $27. So over the years, we've made changes to it. We've enhanced it. We've made it even better. And of course, cost of living goes up, prices go up, investments go up. It was $27 like 7 years ago. This is kind of like what I look at as our toolkit AI edition. The $247 is like my 27, like 7 years ago. So this will be probably the only time that we offer this introductory flash offer for the toolkit. As we go on, we're really trying to implement AI and make it as valuable as possible for you guys. So no, I'm not going to have you guys invest $597 today, but our introductory flash offer is $247. If you want to join us for our bonus coaching session in September, make sure you are one of the first 20, because those will go away today. Those will be gone by the end of the day. But you guys also have until Thursday. If you want to just join us in the toolkit before Thursday, definitely make sure you do that. Okay, Sandra, I think I answered this question. Avoid revealing your age on your resume. I think I got that one answered. Sorry, you guys. The chat's moving, and I'm like, where's my next question? Sorry, you guys. I'm getting there. Okay. Arden, great question. If I am pursuing 2 different roles, what is the best way to add that to my LinkedIn headline? This is a really good question. Again, here's where I would actually talk to your AI assistant about this. If you are trying to add 2 different roles, okay, before we talk to AI first, you got to kind of go through the thought process in your own mind. I would say, which role is like your number one? Like if you had to pick one over another, what would that be? And I would have more of an emphasis, or maybe even list that one first. If the roles are similar, I would try and come up with something that encompasses both of them into one. And then you can use that version of your LinkedIn headline where you add your hard skills, and you could add a mix of hard skills from the first position and a mix of hard skills from the second position. Now, if I was on a coaching call with you, we'd be brainstorming this. And then I would say, hey, Arden, let's jump over to AI and let's ask it like, here's this role, here's this other role. How could I combine this into one role for my LinkedIn headline? However, AI is definitely going to help you, but you also have to have the thought process on your own to know which one's number one for me, which one's number two, and what hard skills can I add in here that encompasses both of those positions. Now, it's not just going to come down to the LinkedIn headline. Keep that in mind. You also need to consider this when you're in your LinkedIn About summary. You need to consider this when you're looking at your skills. You need to consider this when you're listing your accomplishments in your work experience section. So there's a lot to think about. If you are pursuing two different roles, it depends on the industry the roles are in. It depends on how similar they are or how different they are. So that's kind of the thought process I'd have you take. So brainstorm that a little bit and then jump over to AI and see what you come up with. Jana, so happy to see you. Let me take a drink, you guys. And by the way, I've used this cup before, but this is my XOXO cup to tell you guys that I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. Okay. Jana says, did I get your question up, Jana? Okay, there we go. With regards to work experience on LinkedIn, especially with each resume, or especially when each resume is supposed to match each job description we are applying to is exhausting. Wait, is that a question? I'm not sure what your question is. Are you just saying that it's exhausting? Here's what I would talk about a little bit with the work experience section on LinkedIn. Once you get your resume drafted, which by the way, you guys, if you don't know this, but I always recommend getting your resume drafted first before you even go over to LinkedIn. Because once you get the resume drafted, it's so much easier to get that done and then start building out your profile. You can actually take the exact bullet points, and if you use all my strategies that I teach you on how to come up with your results-driven achievement statements, you can take those exact statements and put them onto your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. Then in the experience section, when you're giving us a little introductory sentence about the overarching theme of that role, the company or whatever, then you can start talking in first person, right? You can be a little bit more casual on LinkedIn than you are your resume. But yeah, it's a little exhausting. Okay, Christopher says, which font style would you recommend, Calibri or Arial or Verdana? I actually have a different font that I use for all my templates, and it's called Cambria. So that's one I would recommend. Good question though, Christopher. Yeah, Chantel, same question. I know you guys, I love all of you that have already joined us in the original version of the toolkit. You guys are amazing. You're awesome. I know we're getting so many questions. We got lots of questions this week about that. This is a brand new resource. If you guys are interested in joining us in this brand new resource, definitely take advantage of it. If you're one of the first 20, I would love to see you at our bonus job search and career coaching session on September 4th. Emails, anything like that, make sure you guys let me know. You can send an email to heather@professораustin.com. I have Tori, my virtual assistant, in there. You guys, we get like hundreds of emails every single day. And between her and I, we're like trying to keep up and answer all the questions. But send me an email if you have any questions about it at all. And we'll be here to help you. Ooh, good question, Catherine. I love this. Is activating premium on LinkedIn a worthwhile endeavor? I would say, Catherine, if you are in the middle of a job search, I would definitely invest in premium. And here's the thing, you only have to do it for a couple months. You don't have to think of it as a lifetime thing that you have to do, but I would activate it just for the extra tools and resources you'll get in the job search. And then once you land your new position or you're employed again or whatever you're doing, then you can deactivate it. I'm pretty sure LinkedIn still allows you to do month to month. I would do the month to month and do just the job search version. That's all you need. You don't need to do anything crazy. Or I think they call it like their career something version. But yeah, I think you get some extra tools that might be worth it, and then cancel when you're done. Yeah, Helen, I think I answered your question. Will current members be grandfathered or migrated to the new toolkit? No, they won't. This is a brand new resource. If you want to join us in there, definitely go to heatheraustin.online/flash. You could also use that QR code. I'll pop it up one more time for you guys. And let me answer a couple more of these questions in here. Oh, Tracy's like, what do you mean the first 20 get what if they join today? So Tracy, the first 20 people, let me see if I can show you this. I love all these questions, you guys. I could talk to you all day long. Keep them coming. The first 20 people, let me pop this up really quick for you. Here we go. The first 20 people that join us inside, oh, let me close this thing. For some reason, this keeps popping up on my screen. There we go. Okay, the first 20 people that join us in the toolkit, and this will probably be gone by the end of the day, we'll actually get what we call our fast action bonus. If you guys have seen any of my live streams before where we have a new product or we're introducing a new career resource, I always do fast action bonuses. So the first 20 people will get an invite-only link to our live job search and career coaching session on September 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to come over to you. That's on Zoom. We have career experts join us. We have our Career Academy members there. We have a blast. And we talk about a lot of different things in terms of what the current job market looks like, what you need to be doing to prepare, how you're going to get hired, land more interviews, all that good stuff. So that will be to the first 20 people that join us. And by the way, you guys do have until Thursday. So feel free to look over the enrollment page if you need to. Oh, Tracy's like, I came in late. My internet has been spotty. That's okay. And by the way, you guys, I am going to be sending this replay link by the end of today. So you guys will have access to the replay link for all of those that officially snagged their spot. And then you'll also send you a link to the toolkit page. Jana, hello. Wait, did I answer that question already? Oh, okay, you're trying to clarify your question. Okay, it was a question. With the work experience and multiple job descriptions, how can the bullet points match since we are applying to multiple jobs each day? I hope that makes more sense. Yes, okay. This is such a good question. So my Career Academy members, did we talk about this last week, you guys? I can't remember because we talk about a lot of stuff. But when it comes to the multiple jobs, you have to keep your LinkedIn profile sort of general to the industry and general to these positions. When it comes to the resume, however, you are getting so specific with that. You are tailoring every single resume to every single position. With LinkedIn, yes, you're not going to be able to do that because you might be applying for 10, 15, 20 different positions at a time. However, you should have like a general, like these bullet points could kind of go with this company or that company. And I would not get too hung up on making them super specific to each company unless it's your resume, right? Your LinkedIn profile can be a little bit more general, and then your resume is going to be very, very, very specific. The thing I want you guys to focus on, I know we talked a lot about really building out and optimizing your profile. The thing I want you to be thinking about with LinkedIn is you are looking at this as a networking tool. So then when you are applying for a position, and I have an exact strategy for how you're going to do this, when you're applying for a position, you've applied either on the company website, let's say. Once that application is in, you're reaching out to the recruiter right away. You're giving them your resume that's tailored specifically to the position. You're reaching out to people on the inside of the company to give you referrals or to get to know the people. Like there's a whole entire outreach portion to the job search that you really need to be tuned into, and keep the profile general, right? And kind of fluid, and you can change it here and there, but it's really the resume and the networking and the outreach and all that stuff that's going to move that needle forward. But thanks for clarifying, Jana. I love that. Let's see. Yes. I love all these questions about our original toolkit. Okay, so no, keep going. We could talk about this. Victoria says, so sorry to keep this going. It's okay. I love you, Victoria. Just to clarify, the original toolkit is going to be phased out. Yes, we will no longer be promoting the original toolkit. The original toolkit is going to be phased out. However, if you did enroll in the toolkit before, you still have access to all the original content. You'll have access to everything, but we are no longer going to be promoting it. We're going to be promoting now the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition for career and job search mastery. So hopefully that answers your question. And pop some more in if you have them, Victoria. Yes, Amici, I'm so happy you're here. I love you too, man. Okay, Amici says, make sure to check out the roles your LinkedIn network are sharing, then consider how the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition could help you apply faster and better. I just love you, okay? Like, you are one of my most favorite people on planet Earth. Amici and I have been friends for how many years? Like, we started talking to each other like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and got to know each other just as career coaches online. And I think, Amici, you're located aren't you in England? I think you are, but tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Professor Heather, should the LinkedIn profile be the same as the resume? If the answer yes, why? No, so also why? Thank you in advance. Okay, so when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, you want it to mirror your resume. You don't want it to be totally different, but with your LinkedIn profile, you're actually adding a little bit more character, personality, interest to it. It's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more engaging, but you're not going to have totally different things. Make sure job titles line up, make sure dates line up, make sure generally the bullet points line up, but they do not have to be the exact same, especially if you are tailoring a resume to a specific position. Let's see. Oh, okay, Tracy, you're wondering about just the separate live job search and career coaching session on September. We're not offering that as like something that you can enroll in separately. This is specifically for our Career Academy members and for anyone that joins us inside the Career Advancement Toolkit AI edition. So it's not something that we just offer to the public. It's kind of like a closed doors coaching session on Zoom. So if you want to join us there, you consider the Toolkit AI. I'm just going to call it Toolkit AI. Oh, okay. Yes. Jana is asking about, I love that you guys are asking about all these things. So we do have a resume and cover letter makeover course. That is not included in the Toolkit AI. However, if you wanted to invest in that separately, you could. We've put the materials inside of the Toolkit AI that will give you a pretty good idea of how to get this resume perfected, right? So you could add that Ultimate Resume and Cover Letter Makeover course on. It is a good one. We do host this one live a couple of times a year. In fact, I might do that again here in the next couple weeks if you guys want to join us for that. Of course, if you're on my email list, I'll let you know when we decide to do that. But yeah, that is a separate resource as well. And you guys, if you're ever curious about what we have to offer, you can go to heatheraustin.online and you can actually see all of our free resources, and you'll also be able to see like any of our paid programs that we have. So you can join us in there. Okay, last minute questions, you guys. I'm gonna hop offline. We have been online today for quite some time. Thanks, you guys, so much for joining us. I'm hoping that we're going to be bringing more live career sessions to you on YouTube over the fall. The kids start school, hallelujah, next week. And so that's going to be awesome. I'll have a little bit more time to dedicate to this channel and to you guys, and to making sure that you guys are doing all the amazing, awesome things that you need to in your job search. But if any of you have any questions, I know we're already getting a lot of emails coming through about some of our programs and products. Email me at heather@professораustin.com. Between Tori and I'll make sure that we get those questions answered. If you guys can just give a last minute shout out to Tim and Catherine for being our beautiful, amazing moderators today. These guys show up with me live when I'm here, and I love that they're here. Give them a big, huge shout out. Again, any questions, email me at heather@professораustin.com. If you have not yet hit subscribe, make sure you hit the subscribe button right away. Make sure you hit the like button on this video right away. You'll get notified if you hit the notification bell anytime we do new trainings like this. And it was amazing to spend some time with you guys today. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will all be in touch. Thanks, everyone.